Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here and welcome to this Aimless Wanderings vlog. Today we are looking at Convolution of the Doctor, Side B. The second half of the Convolution of the Doctor story and the longest audio at this point at 27 minutes, topping part 3 of Jim, which was about 20 minutes. I think they were getting longer each time for the first 3 audios, then it was Doctor Cubed, and then it was Jim, part 3, and now it's this. And then it will be War of the Doctors part 6, then No Strings Attached, then Pompous Redemption, I think. Yeah. So, with this one, we see Christy travelling throughout the Doctor's timeline, mainly with Fruit Pastel, sorry, and Pompous, and a little bit with the original, to provide knickknacks for the Doctor to use as a way to come back to life at the end of the story. So mostly we're following her meeting other Doctors. With Fruit Pastel, it's just as he's opening the Rotten Pub, in brand new scenes. With the Sorry Doctor, she just saves him from swinging from a rope and gives him a iron-on question mark, and then they jump off the building. She throws him off the building so we could tie into what happens with On the Line. And with Pompous, it's basically following up what we saw in A Good Pug Goes to War with all the stuff afterwards. And he's a bit pretty much petrified of her, and she has to give him a pug brooch on his lapel, put it on his lapel. Fruit Pastel, she gives him some fruit pastels to use for inspiration as a fruit pastel bar in his pub. Wonder if that story is going to pop up at a later point. Probably not. Unless Joel is allowed to write for Fruit Pastel Wave 2, 3, or a Fruit Pastel individual story. But anyway, all the interactions are great, and Christy is a pretty great character to follow in this story, and John does a really great job with the narration in both stories. I forgot to mention how great he was in the first one with the narration, but he does a really great narration job here. There are times where I can hear him with the kind of the saliva in the mouth, but to be fair to him, I think that's a problem everyone's probably going to have, so I'm not going to bash that against him. I have that a lot. You can probably hear it now. So I'm not going to hold that against him. He's done the best he can, and it's amazing. Or rather, dynamite. There's also not that much dynamite in this one. This is a mostly Christy-centered story, as she goes back to see the original, then to Fruit Pastel, then to Sorry, then to Dynamite, Pompous, then back to original for a very funny scene where Dynamite basically breaks the fourth wall about when he's criticising her. And eventually she saves Dynamite, and they are sad about Jeff's death, but then are happy to go back to the TARDIS. So overall, it's a really great story, and I like it being a parody of Name of the Doctor. I can see why in the Five Who Fans podcast in August 2014, this was Billy's favourite story. And Richard's was Death to the Davros, by the way, I forgot to mention that then. But yeah, it's really great stuff, and also Billy has another little cameo as the American police officer from On the Line, going Dark Tor at one point. I don't know whether these were brand new recorded bits of an old woman going oof and the American police officer, or if they were taken from previous audios. Now, either way, they're really well executed. Final result, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10, just like Side A. Not really much of an issue. I suppose the thing is, it's more of a Christy-centered episode than a Dynamite one, but it still really works. As well as also the fact that it does contradict some stuff On the Line, where Christy's saving Dynamite and then shoving him off after he gets the new question mark. This isn't really how it turned out in the original. I would have preferred something before or after the events of the story. Maybe the stuff with the Warrior Queen. But Joel's having to tie it in with a pre-existing story that wasn't his own, so I guess it works in a sense. The Pompous stuff works a bit better as it follows an adventure, especially one written by Joel, and makes a lot more sense. Also, the stuff with Martin's very funny. Anyway, that's it from this one. Next time we'll be looking at the first adventure of the Sorry Doctor Wave 2, The Search for Ireland. Titled as Trouble at the Chapel. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.